Do you consider yourself a high achiever? Smart, driven, highly successful? I am so excited to have you. My name is Julia Arndt and I'm the host of the Stress Podcast. I will help you develop your stress resilience the same way you've developed your workplace superpowers. Learn peak performance tools to thrive at work and in your personal life. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to Stressed, the podcast to develop your next workplace superpower. My name is Julia Arndt, and I'm a peak performance coach and stress management trainer, and the creator of the Peak Performance Method, a unique model that combines productivity, mindfulness, and leadership tools in one in order to help you reach your peak both in your professional life and in your personal life. So in this podcast, you're learning about a lot of different tools and techniques on how to reach your peak. And today I want to share a tool with you that has helped a lot of my clients in the past and that I believe a lot of people are struggling with. I want to talk with you today about one specific thought and one specific exercise around time management. Manage your life or your life is managing you. This is really true because I am always seeing a lot of people that are not really taking their life in their own hands and that are really struggling with time management, which creates a lot of stress for them in their lives. They feel overwhelmed, they feel tired, they feel like they can't do all of the things that they have on their plate, and that makes them feel super stressed and burnt out. And I want to really help you avoid these feelings. So I want to share with you an exercise today in order to help you manage your life. And the first thing that I want you to take away from today's podcast episode is that you are the creator of your life. You control your calendar and you shouldn't let your calendar control you. I feel like I've said this before in one of my previous podcasts, but you know, it is really important to repeatedly hear certain things in our life to start actually making changes. Because this is one of the things that I'm seeing my clients and the participants of my trainings do all the time. They are listening to what I have to say, they learn new knowledge, they take all this information, but they do not apply it in their life, and thus they do not make any changes in their life. So please, when you're listening to this podcast today, I really appreciate it. I'm really happy that you are here, but do me a big favor. Don't just listen to what I have to say, start to implement it into your life. This is my biggest goal of all of the things that I'm doing. This is the goal of my group coaching programs, of my 10-week programs, and all of the things that I'm doing for people out there. It is that I'm actually getting you to start doing things. And that is why I am sharing a lot of personal insights. I'm sharing a lot of personal challenges, things that I'm experimenting on, things that I'm testing out for you in order to show you you can only start to change your life when you are starting to actually make changes, when you're starting to take the first steps, and when you're really disciplined and consistent about how you're changing your life. Okay, so this is the first main takeaway: time management. You control your calendar. You shouldn't have your calendar control you. And one of the exercises that I've been recently doing with the participant of my 10-week coaching program, the Peak Performance Method, is called Your Perfect Day. Because sometimes we are getting stuck in the things that we should be doing, right? Some people might give us different strategies and ways of how we should structure our life, but then we look at those different tools and techniques and they just simply don't work for us. And that keeps us sometimes from making these changes, and it leaves us pretty frustrated, isolated, and lonely. And of course, I don't want you to feel this way. And this is why today I'm really trying to help you to bring some power and some changes into your life by having you empower yourself by a really simple exercise that is called your perfect day. In this exercise, I want you to start creating a life that you want. So in order to do this, I'm actually going to lead you into this little practice and little exercise, and we'll see where we go from here. If you're listening to this exercise while you are on a walk or while you're driving your car, I highly encourage you to keep your eyes open. Otherwise, I would encourage you to just close your eyes here for a second and take a couple of mindful, deep breaths, because I want you to get into a more relaxed state, because it's really important when we want to let our intuition take over a little bit and when we want to be a little bit more creative. So close your eyes if you can and take a couple of deep breaths. Start by inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. And we'll do this a few times. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Great. Keep your eyes closed if you can. And now I want you to imagine your perfect workday. What would that look like without any limitations, any challenges, any constraints, any expectations of other people? Can you see that kind of in front of your visual, virtual eye? What does that look like? When, for example, do you start your day? And when do you end your day? When do you have breaks, and how do these breaks look like? What would you like to integrate into your life, right? That's the big question. What kind of projects would you like to work on? Who would you like to work with? And if you could really manage your time and manage your schedule, how would that maybe look like? When do you feel the most productive? Is that in the morning hours or in the afternoon hours? And then also think about how would you structure your day-to-day from a calendar perspective, from a schedule perspective. So would you maybe check your emails in the morning, or would you wait until later in the afternoon to check your emails? What would really be your perfect life be? Don't let your mind tell you, oh, this is not possible. Don't let those thoughts come in your way of really imagining your perfect workday. Maybe also imagine where you would be sitting and how your workday would look like from a really visual perspective. Would you have a beautiful desk? Would you be sitting in a coffee shop because you really like this kind of environment? So really imagine your full, beautiful workday. And then when you're done with imagining that, I want you to take another few deep breaths. So inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale one more time. And exhale again. Okay, great. And then you can open your eyes again. If you're watching this video, you have seen me have my eyes closed the most of the time as well, because it is easier for me as well to guide you into these kind of exercises when I have my eyes closed. So now that we are all fully present again, this is your perfect workday. How powerful is this exercise? It's pretty cool, right? Because we never really think about these questions. We never really think about, what do I actually really want? Because we are so used by all of these constraints, by all of these structures and frameworks and hierarchies that we are encountering in the workday. So now you have taken the power back. I told you at the beginning, you control your time, you control your schedule, you control your life. Nobody else is going to do it for you. I see this all the time. People hope that their life will just miraculously change, or we are expecting our external environment to change. We are expecting our partners to change, our work environment. We're expecting our managers to change, our project priorities, things like that. but nothing will change if you will not take those things into your own hands, okay? So now that you have a little bit dreamed and envisioned your perfect workday, in the next step, you could even take a piece of paper and a pen and write that down. This is really powerful. Create a schedule that would be your dream schedule. What would that look like, okay? This is a cool exercise, and again, it is a lot more powerful to write these things down instead of just having them in your head, because maybe just in this exercise alone over the last few minutes that we did together, you have already been distracted by other thoughts that have come up of things that you need to do throughout the rest of the day. So take a piece of paper and a pen and write it down as well, and make it beautiful. Make it really the way you imagine your perfect life and your perfect workday to be. And then in the next step, I want you to think about, where can I do this more? What is one thing that I can start to integrate into my life? Because here's the next mistake that I often see people make. We all think that, okay, this is my perfect workday. This is exactly how I want it to be. And then we're trying to bring this whole chunk of changes into our life, and it just doesn't work this way. We are going to fail. You are going to fail. And then you feel discouraged, and then you will just go back to the old things instead of taking small steps, step by step, in order to make these changes in your life. So here's my next recommendation for you. I encourage you to pick one little thing, one thing that you think is beautiful, one thing that would really make you happy at work, one thing that you think is easy to implement. So start with something that sets you up for success and start to integrate that into your day-to-day, at work, in your schedule, in your life, okay? So this is a really simple way of how you can start to create a more empowered life and how you can start to manage your life instead of having your life manage you. Okay, I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that you are starting to integrate this in some sort of form into your day-to-day, because it is really powerful. And when we are starting to be a little bit more creative in our own ways, then we can really bring in change. Because here's the other thing. When we're trying to change something, but we actually don't really connect with something that somebody else is telling us, then we are a lot less likely to actually implement those changes into our lives, because it's maybe something that we don't fully connect with. And that is why the perfect day is a perfect exercise to create really the life that you want without any structures or recommendations or things that other people have put upon you. If you need a little bit of encouragement, if you need a little bit more of accountability in your day-to-day in order to make changes and in order to really build peak performance into your life, I highly encourage you to join my group coaching group that I have put together since April. It's a really, really wonderful group of people from different industries with different backgrounds that are all having the same goal. They want to become peak performers and they want to lead a more empowered life. So if you are interested in that, I will leave the link to sign up for this group in the show notes. It's a free group coaching call. So come in and join. It's every Wednesday at 8 a.m. PST in the morning. And I would really love to see you there in order to help you create these changes in your life and become a peak performer. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Let me know how things are going. I would always love to hear from you. I always make a post on Instagram every Monday where I'm posting my new podcast episode. So come on over there at Julia Arndt Coaching and comment under the post of the podcast what you have been taking away from this podcast episode, what you have been trying out, what you really connect with, what resonated with you, what is your perfect day look like at work, and share it with our community. And yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you today. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the podcast, and I hope to see you again next week, same time, same date. Thank you so much. With gratitude, Julia.